Hello from Bangkok. We are here in Si Lom Station and we are gonna get into the metro to Itsaraph. I guess it's like how you say it. I'm not sure. And it's very hot here, even though it's not the hottest time. It's still pretty hot and very noisy. And we are going to go see some temples on that side of town. There's many there, including a Portuguese church. So we are going to check all that. The metro system is really cool and it's air conditioned as well, which is great. So we are going to get the ticket. It's on these machines. Okay. So we have our ticket. It's this small coin. I got on the wrong train direction. It was the other platform below. So here we are. I just got out in Lumpini, which was the next one. And now we are going to catch the next one.
Itsaraph Station platform.
So it's called Itsaraph, not Itsarap, Itsaraph. And it almost didn't take, what, not even 10 minutes, I guess? It was very fast. We can already feel the heat coming from the outside. It's really hot. It's not even 4 o'clock, almost 4 o'clock. So it's really hot still. That's why people go out here during the night a lot, because with this heat, it's impossible. So now let's see where we are so that I can decide where to go. So we'll start by Wat Hong Rattanaram something, because it closes at 6 p.m. So that's where we are gonna start. And then another one that also closes at 6, and then we go to Santa Cruz Church to see. So the temple, the first one we are gonna see, is at the end of this road. This looks like a more local place. This part is much more quiet than the other ones. People drying clothes. And it's a very calmer area. I haven't yet been to Sukhumvit area, especially because it was weekend. So on weekends is when that probably goes crazier, and I haven't been there yet. But I would like to go before I change. I'm not sure if I go somewhere else in Thailand or if I go to some other area in Thailand, in Bangkok. Let's see. Yeah, this seems like a much more local area. So I think it's that one. Not sure what's going on. They're putting some celebration things. The other day I went to another temple, but the gold Buddha, which is the main attraction there, was closed because of some ceremony. So I'm not sure. Maybe something's happening.
We are passing the entrance portal to the Wat Hong Rattanaram complex. I'll put the full name in the video because I can't pronounce it. As you see, most of the grounds are covered in this green carpet. The building on the right side that you can see is the temple proper. And this one we are entering first is called Wiarn. To enter, you need to take off your shoes. The structure is usually simpler. It has a platform or a low chair where the monk can speak, then one or more images of Buddha, some donation boxes, and normally that's it. It's where ceremonies for lay people also occur. As you'll be noticing, all temples start with the word Wat. That means school, but only applies to Buddhist temple complexes. Perhaps you have heard of a very famous one, Angkor Wat in Cambodia. So let's see if the temple proper is also open. It's called the Ubusot, and it's the ordination hall. It's in the Ubusot of each complex that the most important Buddha image is kept. It's the ordination hall because it's here that monks are ordained and where ceremonies for monks happen. Lay people can still enter and do their thing, but ceremonies are not carried for them inside this temple. This one in particular is famous for containing 10 paintings through the lateral corridors illustrating the Mahanipata Jataka, basically a set of stories detailing the 10 last lives of the Bodhisattva that led him to awake as the Buddha. Dharmic religions believe in reincarnation, even into different forms of life, not always human, and all advocate as desired outcome the breaking of this cycle of rebirth. One of the ways of achieving that is by waking up, reaching enlightenment, becoming a Buddha. Each one of these 10 stories deals with one of the 10 virtues that become evident once one reaches enlightenment, and are renunciation, vigor, benevolence, absolute determination, insight, morality, patience, equanimity, reality, and generosity. There's many details that will be lost on you if you don't have the background or haven't researched by yourself, so I think that sometimes it's good to hire some local guide to show you around. Obviously, finding one that knows his thing isn't always easy. Many things aren't evident if you don't know them, and not everything is translated from Thai to English or other languages. But let's go back to this temple. You can see that by its size, it's a temple with some importance. It was originally built by a rich Chinese named Ong, hence the name, that donated the funds for its construction. Now you can see on the left side and also here a monk doing some chants for lay people, but otherwise it's almost empty and all the little side stores are closed. It's a hot day, as I said, but if you are in the shadow, it's not that bad, but under the sun it's just relentless. I also wanted to show you the details of these temples. On the corners you can see this design, these pointy ornaments that are unique to Thai architecture, and you'll find them in all religious or royal buildings. Even the ubusots have some particular markings that make them identifiable as the temple, but I haven't got down to that yet. Lastly, before we go to the next one, just a look at the stupa from the outside. These stupas are usually built over relics or graves of important people, usually due to religious matters, and we'll see some more characteristically Thai stupas, but this one is a regular Buddhist stupa. It has smooth faces and all that, while the Thai ones are more ornamented and more rectilinear. So let's go to the next temple.
So we are going to the other temple. There's here the Royal Thai Navy.
From Wat Hong to Wat Arun, it doesn't take more than 10 minutes walking. This is probably one of the most visited temples of Bangkok, and it costs 200 baht to enter, about $6. But as you can see, even in low season, it's still full of tourists. You can rent traditional Thai dresses on the street leading to the complex in case you want to have a photo shoot in full Thai outfit. As I said before, you can notice that these stupas are more elaborate than those we saw on the previous temple. This temple is also called the Temple of Dawn, because Arun, the name, derives from the Hindu god Aruna, which is usually personified as the morning sun rays. There has been a temple in this place from at least middle of 1600, when Ayutthaya was still the capital of the kingdom. It was renamed once and later abandoned. In the first decades of 1800, it was rebuilt by King Rama II. According to legend, he passed through during dawn and vowed to restore it. You can see lots of people taking their photos, and you can understand why. It's pretty beautiful. The main tower was concluded in 1851 followed by significant restorations from then on. You can see here that tower. This element in Thai or Buddhism is called prang and follows a traditional Khmer Thai style. The pinnacle of the prang is crowned by a seven-pointed trident, which source is assigned to Shiva, another major Hindu deity. It's a shame you can go up because the view over the complex must be great. Even the view to the city on the other side of the river must be nice from there. All these main stupas and prangs are covered in ceramic bits and tiles. Let's see if we can pass through this side without stepping into anyone and have a slightly better view. The architecture of these constructions isn't random, it follows Hindu and Buddhist cosmology. The sculptures you can see here are yakshas, spirits, usually benevolent, connected to water, fertility, forests, and nature, and they symbolically support the upper levels of the construction. The surrounding stupas are dedicated to the god of wind, Prapai. The main structure symbolizes Mount Meru, once again a central piece of Hindu cosmology. This main element is divided in three levels. The base called Traipum, symbolizing all levels of existence. The second, Tavatimsa, the heaven where all desires are gratified. And lastly, Devapum, denoting the six heavens and seven realms of happiness. There's also four sculptures above the second level, illustrating another Hindu deity, Indra, riding Erawan, a divine elephant with four tusks and seven trunks. As you can see, it's a very photogenic place, and as such, one of the main architectural attractions of Bangkok. To get here, as you saw, I walked from the other temple because I was close by, but this temple, along with many others, are placed close to the rivers that run around central Bangkok, in this case, Chao Phraya River, and a good option for visiting them and also to have a different look on the city is to do a boat tour around the river. These usually stop in many well-known spots. Some of these tours include meals, guides and so on. That would be how many people would actually see Bangkok in pastime. A French traveler, Henri Mouhot, wrote in 1858 the following: "Let me add here that Wat Chhaeng, the most beautiful temple in Bangkok, is not located in palace grounds, but stands majestically on the right bank of the river. The spire of the pagoda, which is over 200 feet in height, is the first sign to travelers sailing upstream from the mouth of the river that they have arrived in the capital." And that's it. As I said, you can see that it's a temple worthy of a spot on your travel list. Besides this part that is main attraction, there are several pagodas and other structures in the complex. When I visited, some ancillary stupas were undergoing renovation work. I ended up getting into a corridor and thought I had gotten to the main Ubusot, but it wasn't. It was another hall, but not the main one that is guarded by two characteristic yaksha statues. Nonetheless, this hall is done in the traditional Thai style with many details and partially covered in ceramic tiles and reflective tiles. These reflective ones produce a shimmering effect when seen in movement or from different angles. Besides the many foreign tourists, there's also a lot of local tourists visiting because this is still an active temple complex. So much so that during Kathina, the lunar calendar end of rain season event that usually falls in October, the king, in a procession of royal barges, comes through the river to present the new robes for the monks there. As all other temples require us to take off our shoes. It's similar to the other halls we've seen. Not as elaborate as the one in Wat Hong, but as I said, this is the main Ubusot of this complex. The main one is richer and more elaborate than this one, but now you have a reason to visit and see for yourself. And now we are going to the church of Santa Cruz. Once again, we will walk. To this church, I don't think it will be included in tours, but I'm not sure. Anyway, either walking or by tuk-tuk very easily.
So we are here on Santa Cruz Church. This was built by the Portuguese, by what I understand, in lands gifted by the King of Thailand. Not sure if it was already Siam, Thailand, or if it was still Siam. And it was following the destruction of Ayutthaya by the Burmese troops, because there was a Portuguese quarter there in a church as well. And then they, by what I understand, the Portuguese Catholic at the time rebuilt it here, from what I understand. I'm not sure if we can go in, but we'll try.
Santa Cruz, meaning Holy Cross in Portuguese, was established after the fall of Ayutthaya. This church we are seeing isn't the original one, which was built of wood. In 1835, Cardinal Poligwax constructed a new one to substitute that one, and due to its reminiscence of Chinese architecture, it was called by people as Kudijin, meaning in Thai, Chinese church, and the community living there were referred to with the same name. The final version of the church we are seeing was built in 1916 by two renowned Italian architects, Annibale Rigotti and Mario Tomagno. The interior of the church is spacious and solemn, with a beautiful simple altar. Through the lateral walls you can see stained glass windows depicting several biblical events. It's free to enter, but I'm not sure about opening hours or if it's open all days. In the neighborhood surrounding the church, there's also two schools, institutes that are part of this mission. This church was up until 1821 the main Catholic church of Bangkok, when the seat of the Apostolic Vicariate of Siam was moved to the new Assumption Church. So that's it. Now we go to see our last temple for the day to finish our afternoon. So, we are in Wat Prayun. This is the short name version because I sincerely can't pronounce the complete name. You can see it written there, it's pretty complex. The main stupa, this one we are seeing in the center, is dated back to middle of 800 and contains Buddha relics. In 2013, it received UNESCO's Cultural Heritage Conservation Award of Excellence. Sadly, the access to that level is closed, not sure if due to schedule or anything else, so we'll have to see it from the outside. You can see we are already approaching dusk. It's getting darker, and that pink color you see is from both the sunset and the lighting of the complex. This main stupa is surrounded by several other smaller ones, and is in the traditional Buddhist style. Simple, smooth, without any additional carvings or shapes. Now we'll go for a little walk around here. There's a museum. The entrance is right ahead and is still open, but I'm too tired to see a museum right now. By what I understood, it was initially a study hall for Buddhist scholars and students, and later on became the first public library of Thailand. In 2007, Buddha relics and other objects were found here in the grounds, and as a result of that, others were brought from Sri Lanka and enshrined here. Now let's follow to the other side and see if we can find the Ubusot. It looks to me as if it's already closed as well. Nonetheless, we can see the outside, and it's very similar to the Wat Hong buildings, the first one we went to see today. It's exactly the same style, and then it has this small wall around the perimeter with these small towers or reliquaries. There's also some additional stupas in the Thai style spread throughout. Can't understand if in all corners or just on the part ahead, that we'll see soon. And that's it. The day is reaching an end, and many temples close around 6 p.m. But I would have liked to walk around the main stupa and see it closer. We can't forget that these are active temple complexes, so it's where the Sangha of the temple also lives, the community of monks from this temple, which is part of the reason they have these working hours. If it wasn't for that, I bet it would make an excellent night tour, because if you see some of the night photos from many of these temples, they look absolutely stunning at night with the illumination. And also important, at night it's a bit more bearable in terms of heat. It will be a very nice way of seeing the city. But of course, you can't be pouring hundreds and hundreds of people in tourist walks into active temples. But that's it, a short afternoon visiting some temples of Bangkok. The next videos will be in Ayutthaya, and until then, have a nice one.